Hey everybody, it's Anthony from Into the Darkroom, and today we're going to be talking about the Mattigan website template design options. And so I'm in the design section of the back end, and I'm in the settings tab right now. And in the settings tab, you're going to see this first option is the button link interface text color. And that's going to be anything that looks like a button on the site. So we have the sub navigation items, and that's the text right there that's set to white. And then we have things like the contact page. So I'm going to scoot this over a little bit so you can see it. But we have the submit button. So you're going to see that the text is white. We have the button interface foreground color, which is that dark color. And we have the highlight rollover, which is going to be that gray color. So if you want to change any of these, you can just go ahead and type in the hex code right here, or you can use our color picker and select from the color options in here. And then you click save at the bottom and it'll change those colors. And you can do that for any of these options here. So the next item is the image background color, and behind this image will be a color, and you can change that color. Right now we have it set to white, but if you wanted that background color to be like a light gray or something like that, so it stands out more as a canvas that your images fall on, you can go ahead and change that color. You have the image overlay color, and if you go to the beginning of any of these albums, you can go ahead and set this overlay, so it's this dark color right here with this text over it. So you're going to see that we have the image overlay color, which is this black, and then we have the foreground color, which is this white. So if you want to change this white color to something else, you can come in here and do that. And this black color, you can actually make a color if you choose. So you'll have that tinted overlay. And then we have the image caption background and the image caption foreground. So this is only if the captions are turned on. And you're going to see that this background color for this caption right here is this white. And then the foreground color is the text color. Now you can actually go into your images and edit them to change the title and the description, and that'll actually appear here in the caption. So again, this is only if you turn the caption settings on in the settings tab of your albums. And then you have the image caption opacity. So you can turn this up or down. You can see that right now you can see through a little bit to the back to the images showing through. So you can change that opacity. We have it up to 88% right now. And then you have the album aspect ratio. So right now we have it set to 16:9, and our images are cropped 1600:900. So if you wanted to change that to more like a 16:12, 1600:1200 images, you just go ahead and put the 16:9 in here, change that to 16:12. You'll also notice that if you change that number, so right now I have the 16:9, if I change it to 16:12, my image is going to take up less space on the entire screen there. So you have the album arrow colors, which are these right here. So you have the, you can change that color if you so desire. And then you have all the contact form settings. So I'm going to go to the contact. And the first item is the contact form background valid color. So that's just this white in here. And then you have the stroke color, which is just this 1 pixel stroke around that field. And then you have the contact form background invalid color. So if somebody doesn't fill out the name, as you can see that it's required here, it'll actually come back as that pink, and then the stroke will actually change to this red right here. And then you have the contact form text color, which is this right here where it says your full name. And then if you have a placeholder color for the text, it'll actually appear in here. So you can have it say like type your name here, and that'll appear in this color. And then we have the last option for the colors, which is, or for the options here, is show navigation lines. And if you have something like in the navigation, you'll see that we have these lines over the section that you're in. You could turn those on or off. And so those are your color options. Let's actually go to the logo settings now. So we go to the logo tab. And the first thing that I want to show you is that we have the logo uploaded here. So we have the site logo uploaded as a JPEG, and we have the logo image is Retina. So what that means is you double the size of what you want it to be. So if this is, let's say, 45 by 100 pixels, so 45 by 100, you'd actually want to double that to 90 by 200, and then it'll display properly on Retina enabled devices. So you can upload your JPEG here, and you can set it to Retina. If you don't have a JPEG that you want to upload, you can go ahead and just type in your text here. So if there is no image here, just go ahead and type in like the name of your studio or whatever it is that you want it to appear there. And then you can change the color of that text. and you can change the size of that text. So that text will appear right here where our logo is. And again, you can change the color and the size, and you can even link it to wherever you want. So whether you have whether you have it navigating to your homepage or wherever it is, you can go ahead and change that link. And then you can center the position of the logo. You can left justify it and right justify it. If you do that, it's going to also move the navigation with it. Navigation is tied to the logo. And then you have logo spacing, which is just like a 20 pixel border area that goes around, and that's going to give you the spacing in between things. So it's not going to be tight up against your navigation. If you choose to type in your name here and change the colors and the size, you can also not just use our default font, but you can upload a font. And I cover how to upload fonts in another area of the documentation, but you'd be able to upload a font and it would change this font up here to whatever it is that you were looking for. So I'm going to now go over to the background tab. In the background tab, you'll notice that we have the color options, and there are two of them. There's a top color and a bottom color. And that's because we can change this into a gradient as opposed to a flat color. Right now it's a flat color because it's one color blending into itself. But if I were to change this color right here to like a really ugly green, you'll see that if I refresh this, it'll go ahead and blend the white into the green. But if I want it to be a solid color, I'm going to pick the same color as my top and my bottom, click Save, and when I refresh it, you're going to see that it's blending the white into the white, so it creates a solid background color. You also have the option to upload a background image, so you can either upload an image to be full frame, or you can tile it. So you'd upload your image by clicking Upload New, and then you would click in here. This drop down gives you the either fill frame or tile. You can tile just horizontally or tile just vertically. So you have some options in there as far as tiling, and then you click Save. And then, as I said, the fonts tab, I'm not going to go over. You can come in here and you can change your navigation colors, heights, and sizes and stuff like that, and all the different headings and descriptions. But I cover fonts in another area on how to upload fonts and so on. And I think the font here options are pretty self-explanatory. You have size, settings, and colors. And that's it. So that should give you a jump start on branding your Mattigan template. If you do have any additional questions, or if there's something that I didn't cover that you want to know, go ahead and put in a support ticket. Just go to our website and click the support button, and we'd be happy to have somebody answer your question. Thanks so much for watching.